Hello?
About your new messiah, 'cause you're
Ba't tayo nandito?
Malamang.
My Shayla! My Shayla!
Man, I fell down to my knees when the law came.
It's not even fucking midnight yet and TikTok is fucking down. Me and my roommate had a 110 streak on TikTok messages and she didn't even get to see my last fucking video.
It's stalking us.
No wonder the friggin' Americans are crying that TikTok is leaving. They were making $60K a month for making fucking TikToks? Oh my god. I have like several videos that reached like 1 million plus views, 1 million plus likes. Not a dime. Not a fucking penny out of that shit. I did this shit for free. I entertained y'all for free. Americans are entertaining everybody for money. I mean, obviously I knew this, but like, holy fuck, I didn't know they were making 60 fucking K a month. Oh my god. No wonder the
If you're catching rainwater from your roof, how do you keep that water fresh and bacteria free? So the first thing that you need is a container that doesn't let light through. A light container like this does not work. But if you have something like this, you can just paint it black or you can put coverings on it. If light can enter into the container, then you'll start growing algae. That makes your water slimy and we don't want that. Second, you need a first flush diverter. Your roof is a little dirty when it first starts to rain. So when the rain first starts, that water will not go into your container. After a couple of minutes, that first flush diverter fills up with water and then the clean water goes into your tank. At that point, you can either treat it with bleach or if you don't want to use bleach, you can use lactobacterium. Bleach is easier and more convenient, but lactobacterium is a probiotic. And then when you want to take the water out, you take it from a couple of inches below the top of the surface. That is where the water is cleanest. After that, if you feel the need, you can run it through a charcoal filter. And if you want to be extra paranoid, you can boil it to make sure it's well and clean. Or you can simply take the risk and drink it straight from the tank. If you're catching rain...
Having some problems with my PC. I called earlier.
Oh yeah, that was me. What was the problem again?
I do think it'll be easier if I show you. It's kind of hard to explain.
Okay, yeah, sure. No, you know what? Follow me up back. Let's take a look.
Thanks.
If you could just insert your password.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. I'll load up Elden Ring for you.
Oh, okay. There must be a graphical issue. What's your GPU?
It's not a graphical issue. It's really hard to explain. Sorry.
Okay.
So just continue game.
What am I looking
There it is! There it is!
Who? What?
It's the boss! The boss! He's impossible to beat! I can't beat him! I don't know how! Especially in this like second phrase. It's like a weird kind of like fire, blood kind of thing. And like I told you, I don't know how to describe it. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. What? This guy's a f***ing nightmare. It took me ages to beat. We need to walk to Lindell.
I'm right behind you.
Strap in.
It's what?
That's a metaphor.
Oh, having some problems with my PC.
Just found out that most of the girls on TikTok that do the same job as me, they don't actually make corn. Guys, I thought we were all doing it together. I thought we were all dressing up in outfits and baking it raw. I put a metal rod in my back door just to find out that everyone else was lying. Why do you guys lie? Just found out.
right, so now that this app is going away, I'm going to tell the story about how I got verified on TikTok back in 2021 when I was never supposed to be verified on this app. So back then, you could not submit for verification through the app. What used to happen is that TikTok would reach out to you, to prominent figures like celebrities, and they would say, hey, I think you should be verified. Please fill out this form and then return it to our email address and we will verify you. So I asked another creator, Charlotte Palomino, who was verified at the time. She's the founder of Do Skincare. Some of you may know her, how she got verified. She told me that she submitted this form to this email address and she sent it to me. So I took that form, I filled it out with my information, I emailed it to that email address and I said, hey, just returning the form that you sent me. Now they had no idea that they had not sent me this form and I just sent it to them unsolicited. But since they had no way of knowing, they just automatically verified me. I was verified the next day, and I should have never been verified on this app. Thanks, TikTok. All right, so now that this app is...
Who do you think is the most extraordinary scientific mind that that humanity has produced?
There is no contest. Isaac Newton. Nothing. Nobody comes close.
Explain why.
Okay. So, okay. He, working alone, discovers the laws of motion. Then he discovers the law of gravity. Universal law of gravitation. Oh, and then somebody asked, Ike, or I don't know what they call him, Ike, why do your planets orbit in this shape, ellipses, the ovals, rather than perfect circle? I said, I don't know, I'll get back to you. And he goes home, and he comes back, I finally have an answer. And I said, well, Isaac, how did you do that? Well, I had to invent integral and differential calculus to answer that question. He then discovers the laws of optics, deducing that white light is composed of colors. Because you can take those same colors, recombine them, and get white light, which freaked out artists of the day. So he does all of this. Then he turns 26. You tell me. Okay. And in one of his books called Optics, he has a section in the back called Queries. I love that. And in my podcast, we have a variant of the podcast called Cosmic Queries, and I'm inspired by Isaac Newton in this regard. It's just called Queries. And these are questions just spilled off his plate. Crumbs that he didn't have time to answer. He never got around to it. Just some questions. Let me just tack them onto the back of the book. One of them is, I wonder if the stars of the night sky are just like our sun, but just much, much farther away. I'm saying when you see someone, because great scientists are marked not by their answers, but by how great their questions are. Because not all questions are made equal. Here's a question. At what temperature does the number 7 melt? That's a completely meaningless question, even though the nouns and verbs in the right order and it has a question mark. Imagine how many people have asked those kinds of questions before and spent their whole life trying to answer them. We haven't heard of any of them because they were barking up the wrong tree. Because unlike in the arts, where your creativity can be put to page, and let's take Van Gogh's Starry Night, for example. If Van Gogh didn't paint that, no one ever for the rest of the history of the world will ever paint that. If Beethoven didn't write his Ninth Symphony, no one else is ever going to write it. They're unique expressions of unique individual creativity. Okay. Whereas in science, it's nature that's the ultimate judge, jury, and executioner of an idea. So Newton was brilliant and he did all that alone before he was 26. Somebody would have come up with the same thing, or some combination of people. So the rules are a little different in this regard. So another question that would make no sense is, what kind of cheese is the moon made out of? Let's assume that was your big question. You would design experiments to fly to the moon to check, is it camembert, is it blue cheese, and you're just wasting everybody's time, but you don't know it at the time. His questions, I'm looking at 200 years in the future of those questions, I say, this man is on every single question. And he has this astonishing quote. I will mangle it only a little bit. He says, sometimes I feel, as a child, on the ocean shore, picking up one pebble over another because it's shinier. Yet the great ocean of undiscovered truths lay before me. That's Isaac Newton. Humbled by what he knew he didn't yet know, yet what he figured out transformed us all. And I got in big trouble one time. This 12 years ago, something like this. Okay? December 25th. I tweet. On this day, long ago, a child was born who by the age of 30 would transform civilization. Happy birthday, Isaac Newton. Born 1642. Boy, that pissed off a lot of people. Christians, it would have pissed off, not the Jews, of course. Isaac Newton was born Christmas Day, 1642. But there's a technicality. Remember, that's England, and England was the Anglican Church, and they didn't care what the Pope said. By then, the Pope had invoked the Gregorian calendar, which happened like 50 years earlier. No, 50 years earlier. So England was not going to take the Pope's calendar just because the Pope said so. But that calendar is way more accurate and corrected the locations of the dates. And so on the Gregorian calendar, he's born today, January 4th, yesterday, in 1643. But I slipped it in with a Julian calendar bit. So it pissed off some people, and it was odd because Isaac Newton was actually born, on the calendar, he was actually born on that day, when no one knows what day Jesus was born, right? So people are angry with me for saying something true. It's tough out there, let me tell you, I don't know. The cesspool of social media, yeah.
In the next 50 or 75 years, do you think it is conceivable that we will be able to establish enough self-sustaining colonies on Mars to make it a worthwhile expenditure of massive amounts of money to explore that possibility?
In 1969, when we landed on the moon, there were all these articles that came out. Old-timers will remember Life magazine, Look magazine, talking about the future. They said, we're on the moon in 1969, we'll have colonies on Mars by 1985. You realize we have not left low Earth orbit since 1972, 52 years ago. And you're asking me in 50 years we're going to have colonies on Mars? You're asking that because it looks like that's just the next thing to happen. However, that's not why we ever went anywhere in space. We went into space because we felt threatened by the godless communists, and we were reacting to everything they did in space. They put up Sputnik. We freaked out. We founded NASA. They put up a dog. We put up a chip. We put up a thing. And this kept going. And then we got to the moon. We looked over our shoulder. Wait, where are the Russians? Oh, they're not here. Okay, then we ended the space program. We had Apollo 18 ready to fly. We never flew it. Because the Russians said, we ain't following you to the moon. Y'all's crazy, okay? So, but we're going back to the moon now. Project Artemis. Artemis, NASA was early woke here. Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo in Greek legend. That's pretty early woke for NASA. And NASA go back to the moon? Well, why are they going now? Why did they stay on the moon in 1972 or go back in 1980 or 1990 or 2000 or 2010? Why? Oh, China says they want to put astronauts on the moon. And all of a sudden, hey, wouldn't it be good if we went back to the moon? Yeah, sure, let's do that. And Trump announces this, and it smoothly goes into the Biden administration, and it's going to continue back. And that's something that transcends all politics, because we're spooked by other folks who might get to someplace before us and plant a flag. And by the way, you didn't ask this, but I'm going to tell you. All our flags are either down or faded beyond recognition on the moon. China is making a flag with threads made from the rock called basalt. They're making threads out of rock. So that when they deploy their flag, it will be good for 1 billion years, as long as the rocks are good. So,
and it'll cost $5.
Thank you, TikTok users. Americans are letting their voices be heard, and that is affecting the people that are representing them. I'm happy to see more and more people getting on. So let's continue the momentum. Let's get more Congress people, more senators, more voices lifting up in America. I really think this is one of those situations where the power of the people is greater than the people in power, and you are making a difference. Your voice is being heard. This is a platform where many Americans are consuming their news. To take that away from them when it's not necessary, when we can find a solution to this, is just unacceptable. Thank you, TikTok